he separated himself on a mountain and told the three disciples, whose name was James, John, who were brothers, and Peter, and was transfigured before them, and his face did shine. Let me get this light on so I can see. And his face did shine as the sun, and his clothes was white as the light. So here we have a picture. They're drawing a picture. Matthew is telling us what he had the right to write us and let us know what was happening. He was being transfigured, meaning that he became awesomely beautiful. It was so bright, so clear, so it was just, I'll talk about it just a little bit. Just give me a second. And behold, there appeared unto them Moses and Elias talking with him. So now we have Peter, James, John, Jesus, Moses, and Elias. Then answered Peter and said unto Jesus, he said, Lord, it is good for us to be here. He said, it's good for us to be here. If you will, let us make here 3 tabernacles, one for you, one for Moses, and one for Elias. While he yet spake, behold, a bright cloud overshadowed them, and behold, a voice out of the cloud, which said, This is my beloved Son, in whom I am well pleased. Hear ye him. All right, let me tell you what I would tell my granddaughter if I was to teach this part to her. You see, Jesus said, I'm going up a mountain. I need somebody to go with me. Okay, would y'all go with me? Yes, we will. Was anything spectacular about them? No. Peter, James, and John. Peter was the one that sometimes, said the right thing, did not say the right thing. James and John was the one that whose mother had asked permission to see if he could sit on the right and on the left. They were just regular people, but they were chosen to go with him to this particular place. I mean, just like me, if I ask one of my 6 sons to ride with me, I'm not making one better than the other. And I said, well, you want to ride? They said, yeah. Okay, hop in. That's how I see it, especially when I'm talking to a child. Because I don't want them to try to feel like you got to perform in order for Jesus to use you. No, you don't, because he's using me. He can use anybody. Then answered Peter and said unto Jesus, Lord, it's good for us to be here. Peter was like, somebody said Peter was kind of nervous, but I don't know, perhaps I would be too. I feel like I need to say something. But he says, can we build you an altar, one for you, one for Moses, and one for Elias? Let's see if anybody responded to that. While Peter was yet speaking, behold, a bright cloud overshadowed them, and behold, a voice out of the cloud, which said, This is my beloved Son, in whom I am well pleased. Hear ye him. Now, I would believe to say that you got to have a witness to tell us what Jesus, this part, because we don't know everything he did. But this part, there are 3 witnesses here to verify, justify that this happened. Peter, James, and John. They wrote it down. We'll read it. Once you got 2 witnesses, it is established as truth. Then the voice of his father said, This is my well-beloved Son, in whom I'm well pleased. I believe that he was just checking up on him. Moses and Elias was encouraging him because he had just pronounced that they're getting ready to kill me. And they were, whatever the words they used, whether they were encouraging him, just checking on him to make sure he was all right. Other gospels do give a little more details, but I'm in the book of Matthew. This is all Matthew said. I feel like God spoke in the presence of the 3 disciples just to let you know, this is my well-beloved Son. In other words, if I'm giving him a progress report on how things are going with him, I see that his face is still bright. That means he's transparent. I see that his clothes has no stain and everything is good. And that's the way we ought to be when we come before a crowd. We ought to be transparent. They ought to see so much light of the word in us until the reflection of the word from us ought to penetrate until they get home and think about it. Something different about her. I mean, everything about their clothes, something ought to be on you that reflects the light of the word. And what I believe it like that. Not too deep. And when the disciples heard that, when they heard the word speak, the word, the God, the Father,